Hey, what's up there, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551, and I am back with a review slash thought video, or slash off video. And for this one, I want to give my take on Netflix's Happy Gilmore 2, the sequel to, I believe, the original, or if I got the release date correctly, of the 1996 Happy Gilmore movie starring Adam Sandler. And for parents out there, it's worth pointing out that Happy Gilmore is rated PG-13 here in the US. And if there's any part of this video you wish to skip to, timestamps will be in the description of this video, so we watch this either on YouTube or Patreon though. Now, Adam Sandler has sort of had a very interesting career ever since, from the days of when he was on Saturday Night Live and all. And he has starred in several different movies. Some of the movies I remember are mostly the comedy ones, ranging from Airhead to Billy Madison to, obviously Happy Gilmore, Waterboy, The Wedding Singer, Big Daddy. So these are some that I remember, and some of these were pretty funny and all. But over the years, we've also seen him do basically more serious roles outside of the comedy type that he has done before in the past. One I remember seeing was in theaters was 2019's Uncut Gem, which I will admit was different from the type of Adam Sandler movies I remember in the past. But at the same time, that wasn't necessarily a bad thing either and all. So the idea of a sequel to Happy Gilmore and all never really crossed my mind. I mean, having seen that movie many times, I always thought that was sort of like one of those one-off movies looking back at it back then. I never really thought a sequel will ever happen at all. But over the years, we have seen some movies and some dormant stuff get sequels that no one would have ever thought. I was kind of surprised when they were doing a sequel to the 80s Tron movie with Tron Legacy, and we also have the upcoming Tron Arise. We've also seen how Netflix has dipped their toes into it, doing a sequel to Borat that was originally released back in 2006, to even Coming to America 2 as well. So it does seem to indicate that we are seeing some of these stuff get sequels, even mostly on the streaming services and all. So the idea of basically a sequel to Happy Gilmore, like I said, I wasn't really sure how this one was going to work and all. And I did see the teaser trailers and all, and I thought, okay, I mean, this may not be that bad or anything like that. Well, I spent last night watching the full movie itself, though, and coming back, and after watching that movie, I will say this. While I do not think this movie will ever overtake the original 1996 release, though I think that's a classic in its own right and everything, I did still came away pleased with this movie and all. It's not going to win any awards or anything like that, though, and it will come down to the type of movie you like that Adam Sandler does. But I still enjoyed it, though, just not to the scale of the 1996 version or 1996 movie and all. So I'm going to break this down into what I like and what I didn't like, mixed, not 100% sure about. In terms of what I like, I did like the fact that how they did some of the callbacks to some of the original 1996 movie and everything like that. I thought that was really kind of neat, including ranging from, Happy Gilmore going to his happy place, and when she sees his wife, Virginia, who you see what happens to her in the movie and everything, and him having to update his so-called happy place and all, to seeing, how, played by Ben Stiller, the person who took care of Happy Gilmore's grandmother, the one who was, well, kind of a bastard in a way, though, pardon my language, but yeah, that's what it was, to even other stuff, such as basically Happy Gilmore's first caddy from the 1996 movie makes an appearance as a golfer and somewhat holds a personal grudge and everything towards Happy Gilmore, especially how he was portrayed and all, or let's say portrayed, more like how he was treated and everything. So I do like some of these callbacks to the 1996 movie to some extent. I thought that was really neat how they did that in Happy Gilmore 2 and everything. And the other thing I do like to talk about is I definitely like the fact that I do like how there's an interaction between Shooter McGavin, played by Christopher McDonald, and Happy Gilmore, Adam Sandler, and all. I thought that was sort of really neat. One scene was, of course, in the cemetery where Shooter McGavin sees, the passing of Happy's wife, Virginia. They go at each other. I mean, there's even one scene where Happy bashes Shooter McGavin's character on his, grandmother's tombstone. And then there's one scene where they're fighting right at, Bob Barker's tombstone. And for those who've seen the 1996 movie, you know what Bob Barker did to Happy Gilmore in that infamous, famous scene and everything. To even him trying to train some of these golfers to take on what is basically this max golf league that wants to try to end basically traditional golf and everything like that. So it's sort of interesting to see that interaction between the two in a certain way. And I also like how Happy Gilmore tries to bring Shooter McGavin back to the kind of person he remembers from the original movie and all. So I did like that interaction between the two of them and everything. So that I thought that was really neat and everything and all. As far as what I didn't like or mix or not 100% sure, some of it has to do with a lot of the jokes though. And again, Adam Sandler's type of humor may or may not appeal to a lot of people out there. So it does depend on your view and perspective. And I did feel like some of the jokes were kind of a hit and miss to a certain degree. There were some cases where I thought I was chuckling a little bit. I thought that was pretty funny and everything like that. And then there were some that weren't. I thought kind of missed the mark to a certain degree. But that doesn't mean there weren't any points where that I thought was funny and everything. I thought there were certainly some areas that were funny, but there were some jokes that were like, not so much though. Some of it may have to do with the fact that the tone in the movie is a little bit different this time around. You see, Happy is now, older. He has kids, and he has several boys and some daughters. He had a family and everything. So the tone isn't nearly the same than what it was in 1996. So some of the jokes might be hit and miss to some folks out there. But still, that doesn't mean there wasn't some chuckled here and there for the movie. It's just that I just felt like some of the jokes were hit and miss. And last but not least, regarding Shooter McGavin, though, I do think I'm kind of mixed to some degree in terms of how his character was used in this movie. On one hand, I did like the fact that they showed what happened to him all these years in which he got into a mental institution, and some things mentioned about, Happy Gilmore wearing the golden jacket and everything, and sort of that triggers him and all. Seeing some of the feud getting into a fight with Happy Gilmore while working with him to train these golfers. But on the other hand, I felt like it's somewhat, part of it felt like a redemption story for him, but part of it also felt like they just used him for a couple scenes here and there to just move the story a bit, and then afterwards they just forgot about him, especially towards the ending though. I always felt like there should have been something there to show like him redeeming himself and everything like that, and I was a little disappointed in terms of how that was, especially towards the end of the movie, to be exact though. So I will say I am somewhat mixed in terms of how the character Shooter McGavin was used in this movie. Overall, I would say I came away pleased with this one. While I won't say this movie is going to appeal to everybody out there or overtake the original 1996 Happy Gilmore, I still enjoyed it nevertheless though. I'm kind of glad that this one's on the streaming service and not in the theaters and everything. This probably would have been, I would say, close to basically being more like a just go see a matinee for this one though. At its best though, like I said, I like some of the callbacks to the original 1996 movie that was in this one, and I also did like the interaction between Shooter McGavin and Happy Gilmore. But at its worst though, I do think some of the jokes, like I said, are kind of a hit and miss on this one though, and I am somewhat mixed on how the character Shooter McGavin was used in this movie. I thought there were some parts I thought were great, and some parts that were like, to be exact. But in either case, though, I still came away pleased with this one, though. I don't think it's going to be anything that would be basically winning an Academy Award or anything like that, but it is still nice to see that they did a sequel to this one, though. Whether or not we get a Happy Gilmore 3 or not, that remains to be seen. I mean, I can see it where now his kids got married, they have their own kids and all, he's now a grandparent and everything, so it's possible they could do a third one. It remains to be seen, but hey, I mean, we're getting a third entry in the Tron series, basically coming up and everything, so I wouldn't rule out the possibility that a third Happy Gilmore movie could happen, and given supposedly Netflix seems to be happy with a lot of the views that people who saw this movie, so it's not out of the realm of possibility. Whether it happens or not, that remains to be seen at that point, though. And obviously, it is going to come down to how you approach like Adam Sandler movies, though. If you like the kind of humor that Adam Sandler has done before in the past, whether it's Airhead, Billy Madison, the original Happy Gilmore, Wedding Singer, Waterboy, then you'll probably enjoy Happy Gilmore 2. But if you're going into this movie expecting it to be on the scale of like what Big Daddy was, which yes, it was funny, but a little bit more on the serious side to some of the more serious movies that he's done, like Uncut Gems and everything like that, then you're probably going to be a bit disappointed with this movie, because you're not going to get that type of movie from Adam Sandler, to be exact. So a lot of this will come down to your preference and taste, and whether you like the kind of humor Adam Sandler has done before in the past or not, though. But either case, I thought it was enjoyable, though. Not perfect, but I thought Happy Gilmore 2 was enjoyable, though. And who knows? Like I said, maybe we'll see a third one happening, or hell, I would be surprised if he decides to let's do a Billy Madison 2, or Waterboy 2, or Wedding Singer 2. I mean, anything's possible these days, and with a lot of these streaming companies maybe reviving some old IPs or reviving some old movies or series, there's always a possibility that could happen and all. Okay, this concludes my review / thought on Happy Gilmore 2. And again, these are my opinion. What are yours? What are your thoughts about Happy Gilmore 2? Did you watch the movie on Netflix and all? Did you think it was as good as the original one? Did you thought the original one was better? Were there certain scenes that you liked in the movie? Were there certain scenes you didn't like at all? Did you enjoy the humor in the movie? Did you thought it was a hit and miss in any way? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Do you disagree? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off on the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And if you do like this video, I hope you hit the like button. I would appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you do, make sure you hit the bell icon for notifications of any new videos I put up. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You can do it through PayPal me, Patreon, or Steam Labs. Links will be in the description of this video, assuming you're watching this either on YouTube or Patreon. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that'll be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good day then. Bye!